Hail to the king, baby. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and today I want to talk to you guys about something that we haven't covered on the channel in years. Now, it's going to be a little bit different, though. Years ago, I did an Evil Dead franchise ranking, and I've been doing rankings a lot recently. I'm going to talk about the franchise as a whole, and I'm just going to call this a revisited. We're going to go in order of release, from the first one to come out to the latest one to come out. So while it will have my ranking of each movie in there, this is just going to be a revisiting of the Evil Dead franchise. And first, we start off with Sam Raimi's classic, 1981's The Evil Dead. Now, this is the Anchor Bay Blu-ray from 2010. I have seen the steelbooks. This is one of my favorite horror franchises. The fact that I haven't dipped in on those, I know, shame on me. I usually reserve that to Halloween, so I need to get on it. You know, it's a good enough Blu-ray. The edition has a new commentary with Sam Raimi, Robert Tapert, and Bruce Campbell. And I've listened to it. It's a really informative, very fun commentary, and it's really enjoyable. On the inside here, you've got the original poster as your disc art, which I love. So The Evil Dead from 1981. The Evil Dead was and is one of those movies that the first time you watch it, it's super uncomfortable. And I feel like that is partly because not just the subject matter, but the fact that it is lower budget, it almost adds to that for me. You guys know the story of these movies. I'm not really going to get in depth with that. It's not going to be individual reviews, really. It's just going to be like my thoughts on each one and what it meant to me. This was not the first Evil Dead film that I saw. The first Evil Dead film that I saw was Army of Darkness. However, I do remember buying this one before I had even seen it. I brought it home, I watched it, I loved it. You know, it made me super uncomfortable. I loved the feel of the film. You know, whether it's the makeup effects not being the best, you know, some of the acting, it's got a charm to it. But you can get past all of that. One, because you understand that it was a very low budget movie. It was really just, hey, let's try this thing. If it works, cool. If not, well, who cares? And obviously it worked. But also because the core story, the core idea of this film is just incredibly creepy. A group of friends go to a cabin, they find a book, they recite a passage from the book, and it brings demons out to possess them one by one until they're all dead, ideally, for the demons. And for the viewer, let's be honest. That simplistic premise is just fantastic. So you can take all the lumps that come with it. But having said that, this movie, you can tell, it's only hampered by the budget. Sam Raimi obviously has gone on to do great things in his career, and he's a fantastic filmmaker. You can tell Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell and Robert Tapert, they really loved what they were doing. They really cared about it. They really put effort into it, and it really mattered to them. And it shows in this movie because this movie definitely wants to be taken seriously as a horror film. This movie definitely wants to scare you, and it definitely wants to make an impact. And it does that. It absolutely does that. I'm glad that the budget didn't hold it back and this wasn't the only film we got, because as the budget went up, so did some of the enjoyment factor for these movies. But this movie, from the very first time I saw it, even as a teenager, was super creepy. And it's just one of those movies, man. I love this film. And this actually rates as my number 2 in the franchise. So The Evil Dead from 1981. Then next in order is Evil Dead 2. Let the confusion begin for me and many others when they watch this. First of all, I want to say that this is the 25th anniversary Lionsgate Studio Canal Blu-ray release, and it's got some awesome special features on here. If you have the time, I definitely encourage you to watch them. And then the art on the disc is the same as the art on the front. What did I mean when I said let the confusion begin? So the first time I saw this movie, I was like, is this a remake? And then I researched it, and then but obviously that's the first 20 minutes or so, and then you're like, well, okay, well, this is new. Okay, well, what was that stuff at the beginning? And then you research it, and it's like, oh, it's kind of like a pseudo remake, and you're like, well, what? They had a bigger budget. It had been a few years. This came out in '87, and they were like, you know what? let's just give a quick recap of the first movie because maybe a ton of people didn't see it. We'll just give a quick recap with new actors, new actresses. We'll have it fly by really quick, and then we'll pick up with Ash by himself fighting the Deadites, for the rest of the movie. And that's what the idea was with Evil Dead 2. But the first time I saw it, what? And I know a lot of people were that way too. Evil Dead 2, man. This movie's awesome. There is still some great horror elements in this movie, but they also begin to lean into the comedy. Not to the point where it gets ridiculous. Too ridiculous, I guess you should say. Because it is a little ridiculous at times. The entire scene of the entire cabin laughing at Ash and he's just laughing with them, losing his mind, is beautiful. It's fantastic. The possessed hand, it's actually made a list, I think that's on the list of 100, top 100 iconic moments in horror or something like that. And for good reason. It's just such a ballsy, crazy scene. Again, like I said, the budget is up, so the makeup effects are so much better in this film. Henrietta and everything to do with Henrietta is pure nightmare fuel. From the very first time I saw it, it still creeps me out. It's uncomfortable. Henrietta is uncomfortable. I don't care who you are. Don't lie. She's uncomfortable. I just love it. And I love when Henrietta comes up from the cellar and you just get this shape-shifting demon and it's just crazy balls to the wall. And then the ending sets up what, we get to next. But yeah, Evil Dead 2, man. What a freaking blast. You get the same feel you got from the first one. You feel like you're watching a filmmaker and actors and actresses putting their all into a movie because they're really proud of it. They love it. They're having a good time. It's a labor of love and it shows. The movie is, it flies by at a breakneck pace. It's a very easy watch. It's funny. It's creepy. It's well acted. It's got great makeup effects. Evil Dead 2 is fantastic. A lot of people put this as their number one. I know a lot of people do that, but I'm also going to do it. So yeah, Evil Dead 2 is actually my number one. Dead by Dawn. The next one to come out was Army of Darkness, where we got some just incredibly memorable quotes, visuals that when people think of the Evil Dead movies, they think of Army of Darkness material. Hail to the King, baby. The boomstick, a lot of it comes from Army of Darkness. So Army of Darkness came out in 92. And the idea with this one was, okay, we kind of leaned a little bit more into the comedy in Evil Dead 2. Let's go head first into it. If you don't like cheesy, you probably hate this movie. And I feel bad for you. I feel sorry for you if you can't enjoy cheese. So fun. It's so crazy. Ash, medieval times, fighting Deadites, war and storming of the castle. Time traveling. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's so fun. You don't watch Army of Darkness and go I need a very grounded story. I need something that is very deep and psychological and thought-provoking. No. You watch Army of Darkness to be like, dude, hell yeah. I'm going to grab a beer. I'm going to grab some popcorn and I'm going to laugh and go, and just love every minute of this hour and 21 minute movie. And if that's how you're going into it, it is awesome. It's awesome. It's so fun. This is really when they lean just heavily into the zany comedy, crazy Ash and effects. The effects are that way too. I love the whole sequence with Ash dropped into the almost like a sewer kind of, well, whatever you want to call it, hole in the damn ground fighting a Deadite. It's awesome. There's some really cool effects in there. There's an awesome final battle. And it's just iconic quotes. It's a fun time. This movie's a blast. There's no special features, or not special. There's no disc art on here. This is the Universal Blu-ray, the Screwhead edition. It looks good, sounds good. not a bad Blu-ray at all. Got a few special features, but not a lot. I know there are better releases of this one as well. And for me, Army of Darkness is number 4 in my franchise ranking, and that is simply just because, as I've told you guys, I love all of these movies. There isn't a movie in this series that I think is just okay. I think they're all awesome. So 4 is still awesome. And then 1 is God tier. But 4 is fantastic. So don't hate on me, okay? Now I will say really quick, we also had the Ash vs. Evil Dead show, which ran 3 seasons. And because of people illegally downloading the episodes and not paying for a subscription, 4 stars or on demand or whatever, it got canceled, which sucks because I loved that show. I'm not going to put it in my ranking just because although it is canon and it's fantastic and it brought back Ash, it's been a little bit since I've watched it, so I'd really want to rewatch it, but I will tell you guys, I liked it. I think I liked it more than Army of Darkness even. So I'm a big fan of the Ash vs. Evil Dead show, aside from the ending. The ending was weird, but I digress. And the last one to come out as of right now is Evil Dead from 2013, and this is the reboot. Not remake. It is canon. It exists in the same universe. Ask Fede Alvarez. This has Jane Levy leading the cast. This is the first one without Bruce Campbell. Sam Raimi and Rob Tapert came back to produce it, and Raimi definitely was involved because the idea was to do Mia's story, and then do an Army of Darkness 2, and then do an Evil Dead 2, and then merge Ash and Mia's storylines. And that never ended up happening, unfortunately. I think that was because of the TV series, which is a bummer because I would have loved to see that. So Evil Dead 2013 is one of those movies one of those modern adaptations of a classic property that did everything right. And what do I mean by that? Reliance on practical effects and not CGI. The reliance on blood. Now, whether that is in the makeup, the designs of the Deadites, the gore, the wounds, anything, what have you. Just simply the set pieces. It's all practical, and you can tell. You can tell. It looks great. The entire middle portion of the movie, possessed and in the cellar, is just like insane. Insane. Jane Levy puts on a fantastic performance in this movie. I have praised her a lot. I've gotten criticism for how much I praise her. She is fantastic. The only thing that's bad about this movie is the dumb character played by Luke Taylor Pucci, who screws the Poochie. And what do I mean by that? Well, he reads out of the book. The most skeptical guy of all of them is reading aloud as it says, "Do not say it out loud." He's like, "I'm gonna do it, and you can't stop me, book." But I get it. The effects, the kills, the story, the acting, the set pieces, being back at the cabin, the tease at the end with Bruce Campbell. It's awesome. I mean, it is awesome. It's a very layered film. It's a very, very deep character study. Absolutely insane bloodfest. I love it. So, and this one comes in at 3 for me. I flip-flop between the original and this one for 2 and 3 all the time. I have put this at 2 before. They're basically neck and neck. And in here, it's cool. I love this disc art. And you've got the Halloween Horror Nights Evil Dead Maze promo. And that is Evil Dead 2013. There are some cool special features on here. This is just your standard, Sony Blu-ray. Nothing really crazy, nothing in the way of collectibles or anything like that. And I love this franchise because every single film, and the TV show included, you can tell made with love, and respect for the characters and respect for the source material. And it truly, truly, truly shows every time you watch any of the movies. And for me, I just cannot get enough of it. I'm very excited for Evil Dead Rise. That is filming right now. We don't have to worry about it not happening, guys. It is currently well underway into production. It is shooting. Follow Lee Cronin, the director, on Twitter. He posts updates from, the day on set. And yeah, I'm just really excited for him. Really excited that the franchise is still around. I really wish we would have gotten the crossover movie with Ash and Mia, and they had each gotten one more movie themselves. I would have loved that, but it is what it is. We have a new movie on the way, and I can't complain because I'm really, really excited for that, and I hope you guys are too. So let me know in the comments below. Discuss, guys. Let me know what you think of the Evil Dead movies, how you rank them, how you feel about them now, how you felt about them when you first watched them. How do you feel about Evil Dead Rise? How did you feel about Ash vs. Evil Dead? All that. Discuss below. You guys know me. I'm very active in the comments, so I would love to discuss with you guys. Go ahead and follow us on social media. Make sure to become a patron. We've got great stuff coming out every week on the Patreon, and I appreciate all the support we've gotten thus far. This is Nick from the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm pulling out.